I'm Dr. D. Mohammad Rafi, Associate Professor, Department of Cybersecurity at Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. Today I want to discuss about network, the programming and management subject, in which the topic is SNMPv1 protocol and SNMP, that is a practical issues. In this the protocol, what are the practical issues will be arise. The topic is SNMPv1 protocol and practical issues arise in SNMPv1. Here SNMPv1, it is nothing but it is the enhancement of the SNMP protocol. SNMP protocol. SNMP means Simple Network Management Protocol. This is the Simple Network Management Protocol. Enhanced version is a SNMPv1. That is a version 1. It is a original version of the SNMP actually. From this only the limitations, by overcoming the limitations in SNMP, we are enhanced the SNMPv1 protocol. Generally now this SNMPv1 protocol now we are used for managing the other devices, on IP networks. So it operates primarily at the application layer of the internet the protocol shoot. Application layer of the internet the protocol shoot, and which allowing the network administrator to managing the network the performance. Mainly here it can be utilized. This SNMPv1 protocol can be utilized at application layer level over the internet the protocol, over the IP protocol shoot. Why? Because this IP protocol shoot now, which is allowing the network administrators and which is managing the network the performance, and also now which is the find and solving the network problems. If any network problems is there, that network the problems can be find. What are the network problems are arised while transmitting the data from source to the destination. Here is source to the destination while transmitting the data from the source to the destination. Here what are the network the problems are arised. That means now which is solving the problems, monitor the problems and solving the other problems. That means here at routers the problems are arised, at routers or switches or hubs that can be monitor and solve the other problems. Here by identifying, by monitoring now, these are the protocol now which improve the growth of the network. Growth of the network means now while improving the growth of the network, automatically the performance will be improved. The scalability will be improved. The accuracy also will be improved by improving these other networks. Here is now SNMP the protocol generally here now which is categorized into two versions, three versions. SNMP protocol is categorized into three versions, that is SNMPv1, SNMPv2, SNMPv3. Three other versions now which is categorized, which is enhanced. General the key components utilized in SNMPv1 protocol are first managed devices, agents, network management stations, and management information base. Generally here these manage the device, agent, network management stations, management information base. Now generally these are the components can be utilized. Here is managed devices. So these are all the network nodes, so that contain the SNMP agents, and also which is resides on a managed network. Network can be managed. These are the managed the devices now. So these are the devices monitoring the network over the network, and operations can be managed. Whatever the operations now we are performing, whether receiving data or sending data, or modifying data or altering the data. Every operations can be performed. Here the agents what they are doing means now which carries the data. This is a software module. Agent is nothing but it is a one software module now which is residing on a managed devices, monitored devices. Within these the monitored devices or managed devices, the agents can be, now we are arranging the agents. So these agents that maintains the data about the devices and reports these are the data as needed to the network management of the system. Here is, if you take the network management the stations, generally the network management stations that can be executed at the application level only. Here, if you take the client and server, the server here, the server mission now which is requesting the client the information. That means here the client now which is having the number of applications. At this application level now, we are one of the application can be considered here. The network management station here now which is executing only one of the application, not all the application at a time. Here from the number of the application 1, application 2, application 3 up to n number of application. From this n number of application which is execute only one application, that application respond is sent to the server. Here is based on that the response, the server is the process and result sent back to the client. Generally, these network management stations can be performed that monitors and control the managed devices. Whatever the monitoring devices you are using in between the client and server, all the managed devices and monitoring devices can be controlled with help of these the applications. The management information base, MIB. The management information the base now, it is a collection of the information now that can be organized hierarchically. That means these are accessed using a network management the protocol. That is SNMP protocol. By using this the protocol now easily, effectively we can access. General operations in SNMPv1, we are performing the get operation and get next operation, get response operation, set operation, trap operation. Generally these operations while utilizing these the protocol in a network communication, generally we are utilizing these operations. Get operation, what it is doing means now which retrieves, the get operations are which will retrieve one or more values from the managed devices. Get next now what it is doing means here now which is retrieves the values which are following by the named variables and used to walk through the table. Whatever the tables now you are using, database the table, maintaining the table, information table, that the table can be retrieving the values from the table by using the get next value. Here is get response. Get response, generally now we are replies to a get next and set requests. Set operation now which sets the values of a managed device the parameters over the network. Trap operation in SNMP, while utilizing in SNMPv1 protocol now, this is the trap operation now which is asynchronously sends an alert to the server and client from the agent. Whatever the agents are resided within the monitoring devices, from that the monitoring devices now which give the alert to the client and server to the NMS, network management station. Here in SNMP, while utilizing SNMP, generally the practical issues are, the issues can be security issue. The security issue is a SNMPv1. SNMPv1 here, it is known for it is a weak security model. Here, it uses the plain text of the community string for authentication, which are vulnerable to interception and unauthorized access. Scalability. In terms of the scalability issue, the SNMPv1 the protocol now, while utilizing this the protocol now, we are struggling with the scalability in a large number of networks. The size of the network is a large bulk amount of the computers now we are utilizing in the network. That is a large network now. The scalability of the problems now will be arised by utilizing the SNMPv1 the protocol. So it's limited to ability to handle the large volume of a data and inefficiency of its polling mechanisms. The performance, in terms of the performance, generally the performance can be achieved by evaluating the scalability of the network, scalability of network, and accuracy of network, specificity of network device. Here, these are the performance can be evaluated. So this is a polling mechanism that can be resource intensive and may lead to the network the congestions. This is about the practical issues now we can face by utilizing the SNMPv1 the protocol. And error handling, complexity, data integrity, interoperability the issues can be faced by utilizing this the protocol. SNMPv1 has a, which is having the limited error handling. That means which can make very difficult to diagnose and fixing the network issues. That is, error handling can be effective. So, which is limited error handlings can be done. In terms of the complexity, there is a very less the complexity. The network the complexity should be very less. On that less network complexity only. So these SNMPv1 the protocols are working. Here that means very difficult to implement and manage the across different other devices or manufacturers over the network. Data integrity. In terms of the data integrity, SNMPv1 which lacks encryption and data integrity and confidentiality that can be compromised. Here is interoperability, internal operation issues. Generally here, these issues can be arised between the different vendors while implementing the SNMPv1 protocols due to the varying the support of the MIB database and prioritize the extension. Whenever the internal operations are arise, that can be extended to the enhanced version protocol, that is SNMPv2 protocol can be preferred. Advantages of the SNMPv1 protocol. Generally, by utilizing this the protocol over the network, some of the advantages are it is a very simple protocol. So easily any other third party other persons easily understand about this other protocol usage, and accessing is very easy. Accessibility also now very easy by utilizing these other protocols. Who are new to network management, who are new to utilizing, so easily can access. Adaptation, it is a very easily adapted these other protocols, widespread adaptations. That means here it is a original version of the SNMP, this protocol, mainly which supports the many networking devices, many networking management the softwares, and ensuring the broad compatibility. Basic network management. The basic here, the basic network management now, which is provide the essential the functions for network managements. So network management means which is including the monitoring the devices, whatever the devices we are utilizing between the source and the destination. Here the devices, that other devices can be monitored, that is a router, switches and hubs, whatever the devices we are utilizing, that can be effectively monitored, and configurations can be done perfectly, and controlling of the network the devices while transmitting the data from source to the destination. So this is the advantages. Low overhead, foundation for network the management are the advantages. Low overhead means now the protocol has relatively very low overhead. Why? Because now smaller, less complex network environment now we are using. The network, whatever the network environment you are using, it is a very small, and complexity of the network is a very less. Foundation for network management. Foundation for the network management is a another advantage. Mainly standardized network for network management that subsequent version have been built upon. Why? Because now limited the uses due to this some of these the limitations. Now the enhancement can be very the strong foundations can be the proposed for the enhancement. And disadvantages by utilizing this SNMPv1 here, some of the disadvantages. The first one is the security. Data security is one of the most disadvantages. Why? Because the lack of robust security features here. While transmitting the packet in this network now, over the network, if we are going to utilizing the SNMPv1, the features are very lack of the security features. It uses the plain text the community strings for authentication, which can easily interrupted, exploited by the attackers. That means now identifying easily you can identify the security, but here that much of comparing with the V1, V2, V3, so it is less exploiting the security attacks. Scalability issues. Scalability issues means now inefficient and challenging to the many large scale of the networks. So here inefficient and challenging to the many larger networks due to the limited availability. Why? Because to handling the large volume of data now which is not suitable. This is the protocol, SNMPv1 protocol, it is not suitable for handling the large volume of the data. With help of this SNMPv1 now we can't transfer the large volume of the data. And need for the constant polling. Polling should be the very constantly can be done. Limited error handling. Limited error handling means in terms of this limited error handling, the protocol has a very limitedly which handles the error. This capacity has a very limited handling. Why? Because it is a error diagnosing very difficult in the with help of this SNMPv1 version and the protocols, and network issues can be effectively that much of effectiveness not exist in a SNMPv1 the protocol. Here is and the performance the impact. In terms of the performance impact, the polling mechanism can place a heavy load on a network and devices and potentially leading to perform the degradations. That means especially in a large networks, in a larger other networks. Lack of encryption. Lack of the encryption means here data transmitted via SNMPv1 is not encrypted. When process a risk of the data interpretations and unauthorization of access. Here interoperational issues can be arised. Complex MIB management can be done. The complexity and lack of the standardization in a management information base can be make very difficult to managing to monitoring. Why? Because here less efficiency, the monitoring and management is a very difficult. Implement the SNMP V1 across the diverse the devices or manufacturing the devices. Here the objectives of the SNMP protocol are the network management, interoperability, scalability. So these are all the main objectives of the SNMP V1 the protocol. Network the management, it is a very simple management of the network devices such as routers, switches, and servers, which is providing the standardized way to monitor and managing these other devices. Interoperability means internal operations, so among the different other devices and management systems from various vendors through a common other protocol. Scalability means now which is supporting the networks of varying the sizes, from small LAN, large enterprise networks, very lightweighted, very simple. Extensibility, easy of the implementation, which is providing a protocol that is easy to implement, reducing the complexity of the network management. Here is low sources consumptions. Low sources consumptions are design the protocols to minimum network bandwidth and device resources. Now, so it is a very suitable for the wide range of the networks, including those with the limited the processing power and memory. Outcome of the SNMP V1 protocol is, first outcome is enhanced network visibility, which providing the better visibility into the status and performance of the network and the devices. Here, proactive monitoring and management can be achieved very efficiently, which is improving the network monitoring process, management as a process. Here is these the monitoring and controlling network devices can be done very effectively with help of the SNMP V1 as a protocol. Efficient and effective network management can be done. Vendor interoperability can be done. Foundation for future developments can be done with help of the SNMP V1, which is a groundwork for subsequent the versions of the protocols, that is SNMP V2, SNMP V3, which introduce the enhancement in a security, scalability, and functionality. The wide adaptations now. SNMP V1 is very simple and effectiveness. Here, which that can be utilized both for enterprises and network the providing services, network operations that can be utilized. So it is becoming as a de facto standard for the network management. Here, network troubleshooting, cost saving can be achieved by using the SNMP V1 protocol. That means automating the many network management tasks, which is reducing the need of the manual interventions, leading to the cost savings into the network operations. Here, many of the network other tools now is a baselines can be provided the baselines for the many of the network management tools. Many network monitoring systems, management tools and systems are built on top of the SNMP V1, which is providing the ecosystem. Ecosystem means whatever the client sending the message, same response can be sent by the server. Such type of the solutions can be identified and rectified. Those are the solutions for the network administrators. The outcome of the SNMP V1, which has very significantly contributed to the evaluation of the network management practices and technologies. Here is driving improvement in a network performance, reliability, manageability, scalability. The accuracy can be significantly improved over the network. Here the outcome is SNMPv1 has been the instrumental in a standardization network management, which is providing the enhanced visibility and simplifying the management of the diverse network devices. Now, which is the widespread adaptation? The protocols now, which is basic security, limited scalability, highlights its shortcoming of the modern network environment. Now, generally, which is utilizing the modern network environment can be utilized. So, these are the limitations can be overcome. The evaluation to more secure, efficient protocols like now enhanced with help of this SNMPv1, we are enhancing the more the secure and efficient the protocols like SNMPv2 and SNMPv3. SNMPv3 is a high security protocol comparing with SNMPv1, SNMPv1 and SNMPv2. It is a very high security. Bulk data can be transferred with help of the SNMPv3. SNMPv1, which contribution late is very crucial the foundation for the subsequent advancement in a network. The management. Here is the continued to influence and shape the practicals and tools used in a network monitoring and management today's environment. For this the topic, the textbooks are Unix network the programming, SNMP, Pearson education, web reference. So this is a web references. This is about the SNMPv1 protocol and practical issues. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.